All right, welcome to the Two Sons podcast. The first time that we are going to venture away from Star Wars and talk about the show that I suppose is the most culturally prominent show of the last 10 years or so, Game of Thrones. We're going to get into episode 1 of House of Dragon today. We're also going to do... Luke's going to give me his first impressions of Thrawn Treason. I've already finished it, of course, because I'm insane.
Dude,
and then at the end...
Serious? Oh my gosh. How long did that take you? Like 5 days?
A weekish? Yeah. Like, because I had barely started it before our episode last week.
It's the beauty of audiobooks.
Yes, exactly. And so Carly stopped me because I actually started the first book of the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy and made it like one chapter in. And then Carly's like, you better wait for Luke. Luke waited for you during the other books.
Yeah, damn.
So I'm stopping.
All right, you better.
I will get it under control.
We should just get like a subscription to all Disney related, or not Disney related books, but Star Wars related books.
I know,
there probably save a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm $100 in on the Thrawn stuff.
I know, just Thrawn freak. Jason Tim Thrawn freak.
So, and then at the end, we're gonna briefly touch on The Gray Man, a movie on Netflix that Luke talked about. Like, again, our goal with this show is like we don't want to talk about things that we don't care about. So if there's some culturally prominent thing that we don't care about, it probably won't get brought up. But things that we do take an interest in, that's our goal, is to hit on all that. We also have plans for NFL season, which are going to be kicking off in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Which should be fun.
Y'all might meet our friends Marcus and Sean.
Yes.
Who are very savvy when it comes to NFL.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Marcus played Division I football, so he offers some perspective there. And then Sean's just an absolute diehard Carolina Panthers fan, which should be fun.
And one of the funniest dudes we've ever met.
Yeah, just straight up hilarious. All right, so let's start with Thrawn Treason. So first off, this was by far my favorite book of the series. It's so good on so many different levels. I'm not going to reveal anything. I just want to know where you're at in the book and what you've thought of it so far.
So far I've loved it. It's kind of funny because I loved the first book. The second book was really good in my opinion, but then I'm enjoying the third book the most at this point. It's Thrawn in his true form. And I feel like the second book didn't necessarily miss that, but you didn't get to enjoy that as much just because like Anakin's character was so dominating and obviously Vader, of course. And then Padme's character was a little bit dominating too. And it was a lot of Thrawn just kind of like helping them out almost.
It's an Anakin and Padme book in a lot of ways.
Right. Yeah. And then in this one, Thrawn's just back at it. He's in charge again. And it's kind of refreshing to see. And it's really cool because like I talked about previously, he focuses a lot on developing the people around him. And that's a huge part of this book. Eli's back, which is cool. So it's fun to see him. Classic
Eli
character
Van
now.
To.
Yeah, Eli Van To. Yeah. And for anybody who didn't understand that joke, that the Chiss speak names, or they say names in very weird ways. Yeah. So
I would imagine in the book they put that there, and like I bet you they put a hyphen before.
I think they'd have to. Yeah, I think they'd have to because he was kind of bothered by the way that they were saying it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So I've loved it. It's Thrawn back in his true form. He's back at the helm, so to speak.
Where are you at right now?
So right now I'm at the part where Thrawn accidentally messes up the Chiss plan as they were stalking,
because they were following the ship that was being attacked by the Grogu's.
Right. And then I assume there's about to be a nice space battle that's about to happen, which Thrawn had kind of foreseen.
Yeah, it's interesting. In the early part of the book, you pick up on a couple of different things. First of all, you're right. The second book ventures far into the Darth Vader stuff, some stuff with the Clone Wars. Like you're right. Thrawn becomes, he's not an ancillary character, but he starts sharing the stage in a way that he doesn't in the other two books. What I loved about the first book and the third book is it gets back to what I think is one of the most interesting parts of the Thrawn trilogy, which is the dynamics of the Empire's military.
Right.
And the politics among the officers, like the power dynamics. You learn about their structure. You'll find out later in the book, like there's at least, I think, 13 or 14 fleets that govern the Empire. And It's all just super, super interesting, and it dives back into those dynamics. And I also just love the overall Navy vibe, like the use of Navy terms, the concept of having a captain of a ship and the power dynamic.
Oh, it's so cool.
Everything is so cool about it. The other thing that I thought was really interesting about the beginning of this book was because we learn basically in through the first 2 books that there are basically 3 high-ranking Imperial officials, like truly high-ranking Imperial officials under the Emperor: Darth Vader, Grand Admiral Thrawn, and Grand Moff Tarkin. And you can tell like it's part of Palpatine's genius, because it's like Darth Vader is like the muscle,
Right.
and then Thrawn is like the brains. And then like Tarkin is like the deviant.
He is.
Like he's the master of politics. Thrawn is the master of military tactics, and Vader is the sheer power of the Force.
Yeah.
And it's like those are his 3 primary pawns, and you learn about that. But we get introduced to a 4th, and I don't think I picked up on how important this was in Rogue One.
Krennic?
Krennic is clearly up there.
Right.
Because first of all, the Stardust Project is top secret.
Right.
Like even Thrawn is not supposed to know about it. I think it's Vader and Krennic.
That's a good point.
And Krennic is clearly under the impression that not only is he managing the project, but he will one day be the one who he will be the captain.
Just cruising around in the Death Star.
Yeah, he'll be the commander of the Death Star. He truly thinks, which we find out later on. Grand Moff Tarkin takes it away from him.
Right.
And I thought this was an interesting part of this book, is the beginning, how they kind of lay down that initial motive of Tarkin to try to take it away.
I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and then there's a couple interesting characters. Ronan is tough.
Just
a
douchebag.
Literally, he is. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the book, and I think I'm gonna power through it over this week, so that way you and I can chat about it tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next week.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've met Admiral Arlani.
Yeah,
which is
she's cool.
Yeah.
But actually, that's a really interesting dynamic, and we won't get into this too deep. But I was trying to figure out if all the Chiss originally, and I know people already know the answer to this, but I was trying to figure out if all Chiss were as genius as Thrawn, and it's clear that they're not. Like, Chiss are amazing, but and they're super, super wise, and they're very, very tactful, but Thrawn has a unique brain.
You'll pick that up. That is literally in the first chapter of the Ascendancy trilogy, which I promise I'm going to stop reading.
Dude,
so
if you keep
listening
listening to that, I'm off the show. You're going to have to do it with Lola, and she doesn't add much. She really doesn't. And our friends don't really like Star Wars. Like, to anybody who's listening to
I would
this,
be caught. Yeah, I'd be powerless.
Our wives told us to kind of do this so we could just get all of our Star Wars talk out of the way and then not have it dominate the week. But we end up talking about our podcast the whole entire time anyways.
So. Their plan is not exactly
yeah,
what
sorry. It's made it worse. Anyways.
But dude, I'm enjoying Star Wars more than ever right now.
I am too.
Because Thrawn has been so interesting. I obviously Obi-Wan was incredible. I actually just last night, because Carly had not seen it yet, just last night we watched the finale of Obi-Wan, so I got to see that lightsaber fight again, which is incredible.
Yeah.
I finished Rebels season 1 yesterday. I just watch it when I'm like having lunch and stuff.
Yeah.
And like that's the one where Tarkin has captured Kanan, and they have to rescue Kanan, and at the end they end up having to call for help from Phoenix Squadron, and as a result, like they end up meeting Ahsoka, and there's this dramatic.
Sweet.
And then you really capture like because Vader gets brought in at the end, and like you really capture like that they destroyed Grand Moff Tarkin's flagship. They blew it up.
That's pretty impressive,
because Ezra, I think it was Ezra. Oh no, that's what it was. When Kanan chops up the Inquisitor's lightsaber, his lightsaber crystals are still active as they fall into the reactor, and it explodes the reactor of the Star Destroyer.
That was convenient.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And like as they're fleeing, you see Grand Moff Tarkin's destroyer, and I watched episode 1 this morning actually, it might have been yesterday. I can't remember. But I watched episode 1 of season 2, and like Vader, they basically point out like Vader's here because this is now a real threat. Like,
and not only that, but the Phoenix Squadron just wrecks stuff for the Empire. Essentially,
Oh, yeah.
we were just talking about how important Thrawn is, and they essentially cast him into hyperspace. Not on purpose. Again, that was very convenient that he got pulled into hyperspace by animals, but but like, you get my point. I mean, Phoenix Squadron just is a ruckus.
I just can imagine at the end, like, people being like, I told you Grand Admiral Thrawn wasn't up to this task. And it's like, space squid whales.
Yeah,
showed
squid
up.
whales. And something called Bendu.
Yeah, it's something called a Bendu.
We don't know if it's a Bendu or just Bendu. Like, it's Bendu. Bendu is here.
Point
What?
being, I've been very much enjoying Star Wars lately, and I think we're heading into like a golden era of Star Wars content.
What a time to be alive.
Dude, what a time, man! Like, and I think I could not be more happy about us diving into Thrawn like this, because I really do think he's going to be a massively important character in the in the Ahsoka
I really hope
show.
so.
Well,
That'd
I
be
mean,
so cool.
They've strongly hinted at that with the magistrate, and
Again, and I don't know what side he's going to be on. I don't know if he's going to be part of the rebels or a part of, the Empire.
Well, in theory, like, that'll be the thing that I'm curious to see. And I don't want to talk about this because I want to save this concept for when you finish Thrawn, Treason, because there's an important moment towards the end of the book that kind of hints towards this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 2 weeks from now, 1 week from now on Wednesday, we will be breaking down the entire third Treason book. I'm going to peer pressure Luke constantly this week, texting him, making sure that he listens to
I'll
it.
take some days off work.
Yeah. Today's a woodworking and book day.
My patients will understand it.
The other thing too that I don't know about you, but like, I just speed up the audiobook to 1 1/4 X, and it just adds a tiny bit more pace. It doesn't affect the palatability of the show at all.
I'll see how I like it.
Yeah. The problem is I did that for a while, and then I went back to 1, and I was like, oh my gosh, like,
It's super slow.
Yeah, exactly.